Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's second video. We're going to have a look at the ECM WF extended model for today's second video. This is your 30-day extended European outlook, as was on a Tuesday, and I should get on with it for you in a moment. Just to say that the first video sales are 6 AM UK weather forecast. Got 10 to 14 day on the way later on today as well. Please like, share, and subscribe on all today's videos and content, and thank you so much everyone for doing that for GavsWeatherVids. Thank you so much everyone. Hope you're having a lovely Tuesday morning. Right, and thanks so much to ecmdev.it for supplying the charts data as well, by the way. Right, let's crack on, then. So we're going to start off with week one, mean sea level pressure anomaly. Take us through the week that we're currently in, which is 17th to 24th of March. So the next week, we'll have a low pressure to the west and the southwest of UK and Ireland. High pressure issues central and eastern parts of Europe, and winds will be coming up from a southerly direction. So look, most are settled in the west, especially later on in the week, with higher pressure bringing dry conditions over into the east. The 500 millibar height anomaly from the Arctic and North Pole view down again with that trough to the west and the southwest of Europe. Higher pressure in many other areas, and again through West Europe we should be bringing up the wind from the south like so. Well, temperature anomalies then this week are above average through much of northern and western Europe, particularly mild, if not quite warm, through Scandinavia and Nordic regions. So we've got Norway, Sweden, Finland, and the Baltic Sea states of Latvia, Estonia, Lithuania going to 3 to 6 degrees above average. More widely across the north and the west of Europe, let's get rid of that. We've got temperature anomalies of between 1 and 3 degrees above average through Ireland, the UK, France, much of the Low Countries, Belgium, Holland, Netherlands, into Germany and northern Poland as well. So a very mild scene later this week, in particular through the north and the west Europe. Now it's not mild everywhere. So we've got Spain and Portugal, a little bit cooler than average, and we've also got much of eastern, southeastern Europe with near normal or below average temperatures, and that's particularly through the Black Sea and also around Turkey, down towards Greece, etc., into the Balkans as well. Looking rather chilly there, Mediterranean-wise. So the central bowl of the Med, where the holiday islands are, of course, Mallorca, Menorca, Ibiza, Balearic Islands, and Corsica, Sardinia, Malta, all coming out relatively mild this week. But on either side, it's cooler. So we've got Spain, Portugal, as I say, a little bit cooler, and also particularly Greece and Turkey, also southern parts of Italy. Temperature-wise, we're looking like that. So it's a wet scene across the far west, southwest of Europe, France, Spain, Portugal, significantly above average rainfall there, like 60 to 90% of average into Portugal and western parts of Spain. That could cause some problems with flooding, I would have thought. Also, we've got southern France. Well, most of France is a bit wet, but southern France looking particularly wet as well, around the Côte d'Azur. Plenty of rain there for Monaco. Going further northwards, we find southern England and Ireland a little bit wetter, but Scotland's drier, and then they've got northern parts of Norway and Sweden also a bit wet, and around the Black Sea towards the extreme east portion of Europe it's a bit wet there as well. Elsewhere though, a lot of dry weather. Now anywhere from about Scotland over towards western Russia coming out dry but not particularly through southern parts of Scandinavia, so Denmark into southern Sweden, also some parts of Norway, quite dry. Finland looks quite dry, Baltic Sea states looking pretty dry, as does Germany, Poland, and over into the Ukraine as well. Right, week 2 will be the 24th to the 31st of March. So, more changes. A mid-Atlantic ridge beginning to move up towards Greenland, Iceland. Trough low through the north and west Europe, and winds tend to be coming in from a easterly or a northeasterly direction. There's a ridge over on the east side of Europe. It could start to bring up something a bit warmer, perhaps in the far east. 500 millibar height anomalies, again with a trough of low through the extreme west and southwest Europe, a ridge through the Atlantic heading northwards, and also on the eastern side of Europe as well. Now, how's the temperature anomaly doing? Oh, well, it's quite mild across most parts of Europe, isn't it? Especially so in the north and the east and into the west of Russia. Into the west of Russia, we've actually got a small area of temperature anomalies, I think, going up to 10 degrees above average there. Gracious. More widely, though, like 3 to 6 degrees above average across much of northern, central and eastern Europe. Now we come out to the west, and the temperature anomaly there is closer to average to Ireland, the UK, into France, the Low Countries and also Germany. But you have to go down Spain and Portugal to find anything below average with the temperature. Much warmer across eastern and southeastern parts of Europe and down into the eastern part of the Med as well. So again, got Greece looking a lot warmer next week, as does Turkey. Italy is warming up too. And the central bowl of the Med looking pretty warm as well. So not too bad. Got a bit of spring sunshine down in the Med next week. Week 3 will be the... Oh, what am I doing? No, I'm going to go to precipitation. Getting ahead of myself. Precipitation-wise, we look like that. So, many areas coming out quite wet, though. So, we've got Iberia, Portugal and Spain, also to France, and into the central bowl of the Med, Italy, coming out wetter than average. So, perhaps not quite so good. You've got a holiday. Down into the Med, despite warm temperatures. Looks like it's going to be like downpours around. Further eastwards in central and eastern parts of Europe, looking wetter than average there as well. It's definitely a more unsettled week next week, but far north of the west, so like Scotland, probably Norway, coming out a bit drier than average, maybe Ireland too. And then the extreme east and southeast also looking relatively dry as well. And I think overall it's a much more unsettled week across Europe next week. Right, now we can go on. Week 3 will be the 31st of March to the 7th of April, with high pressure appearing around Iceland, low pressure to much of Europe, and winds are coming in from a northeasterly direction there. 500 millibar height anomaly again, with above average heights from the Atlantic into northern Europe, below average height down south. Winds again coming in from the east and from the northeast, a little bit like that. Temperature anomalies are gradually lowering, but still above average in most areas. We've got Spain and Portugal, probably I would have thought southern France, looking a bit on the cool side, but otherwise above average, especially so through these eastern portions of Europe, despite the northern blocking. The temperature anomaly is holding up, but even in the far north and northwest Europe, where we've got those northeasterly winds, we're still coming out with rather above average temperature, so looking pretty warm now. I am a little bit dubious about how warm that is actually through West Europe. I suspect in reality it'll be cooler than that, but we'll see. And so as precipitation goes, so the southern part of Europe looks quite wet, again, particularly through the Med. I've got France, and we've got France, southern France, Côte d'Azur again, and Spain and Portugal, central bowl of Med, to Italy, over the Adriatic Balkans, all coming out wetter than normal. Rather drier south of the Black Sea, through some of the Greek islands up towards Turkey, and we've also got dry conditions with that blocking through Scandinavia, Nordic regions, UK, Ireland, and possibly the Low Countries and northern Germany too. Bit of a weakening signal, though, as it's 3 weeks out. Week 4 is the 7th to the 14th of April, still with blocking, high latitude blocking, around Greenland and Iceland. Low pressure is to the south of that. 500 millibar height anomaly again, with above average height semi-Atlantic, heading up towards Greenland and the Arctic as well. I think there'll probably be a trough through here in the end. Temperature anomalies are largely still above average, again, particularly so from the eastern parts of Europe, but even in the far west, it's slightly milder than average anyway. And precipitation-wise, well, a much weaker signal by this point, as we are 4 weeks away. Right, that's your 30-day look ahead done, but let's go through weeks 5 and 6 before we go. So week 5 will be the 14th, 21st of April. Looking more unsettled through Ireland, the UK and France, so about low pressure. Blocking, perhaps beginning to ease slightly around Greenland and Iceland. 500 millibar high anomaly, showing that blocking up nicely, but it is starting to reduce and diminish a little bit. Temperatures are still largely mild and average in most parts of Europe, and precipitation anomaly is turning wetter through the north and west, and particularly for Ireland and the UK. Right, week 6 will be the 23rd, 28th of April. There's a bit of high pressure down towards Spain, still blocking really around Greenland and Iceland. The 500 millibar heights look like that, again showing up that blocking very nicely there through Greenland into the Arctic. I think that if it comes off, it's only forecast, of course, if it comes off, I think that is our tropospheric response to a strat warm that's going on through April 2025, and the temperature anomalies are lowering, going close to average through the north and west of Europe, with Eastern Europe and Southeast Europe looking warmer. And lastly, precipitation, so very weak signal, but looks a little bit on the wet side through central west parts of Europe. It's drier both southwest and also in the extreme east and southeast. We shall see. Right, well, that's your 30-day extended European outlook done. And so if you enjoyed the video, please you like, subscribe, and thanks so much everyone for doing that. We're going to be back a little bit later on. We attend a 14-day. Come back for that in a bit for this week's extended European outlook. Oh, by the way, remember any forecast on 5-7 days. Come to big out once. Large print, start attacks. I've got to do small print, you know. So it's just a snapshot what model is showing. Good or different when we look at model again on Saturday with the Ireland and UK extended forecast video. Right, now, for 10 to 14 days on the way later on today, keep checking back to the channel for more. For this one, that's all for now, and thanks so much.